Hi, I'm Krista from Krista Hermanson Design, and we are a design construction firm that specializes in residential re-envisioning and renovations, as well as helping people through the custom build process. Well, I think I actually, when I reflect on the family that I grew up in, I think it's quite natural that I ended up here. I didn't necessarily see it coming, but I was raised by a construction project manager and my mom, who was obsessed with interiors, and in a different generation, she would have been an architect. So she really just intrinsically understood space and was always studying it and creating a beautiful space for us to grow up in. So I think I came by a lot of this very naturally. So when I decided to pursue this later in life, it was sort of an extension of who I am, and I hadn't realized until then just how much both of my parents had impacted me in that way. I would say that first and foremost, I've always really loved people. I really just enjoy people and getting to know people. So for me, design is how that wraps around the people that inhabit an environment. So that's central. And then in reflecting on my early experience as a designer, I remember doing this beautiful millwork with this pair of gentlemen who were incredibly skilled master carpenters. And they were building beamwork and wall paneling and all kinds of beautiful details in a space that I had designed. And just the process of collaborating with them and bringing this design to these gentlemen who were so talented and passionate about what they did. And between their experience and knowledge and my vision for the place, we were able to co-create something really beautiful together. So that collaboration really landed and resonated with me early on. And since then, of course, we've just had the opportunity to work with so many incredible, talented people in every layer of construction. So that was certainly formative for me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's a really beautiful way to express it. I think of us as being co-creators. So when we're meeting a new family, it's like, okay, how do you live in this space? Who are you? What are the kinds of activities that your family enjoys? And how do you want to feel in a space? We co-create that together based on the information that they share and the challenges that they're bumping up against in the way the space is working for them now, or actually not working for them now. Yeah, Hygge is very much about a feeling in a space, and it's also about activities, but it's about the feelings that those activities create. So Hygge literally means, loosely translated from the Danish, cozy time. So cozy time is quiet connection, is how I think of it. So it's creating an environment that allows people to connect in an environment that feels restful and comforting and cozy and engenders communication and really connection. That to me is the essence of Hygge. Ultimately, our homes are about the feelings that we have and the connections that we share inside of it. So what kind of feeling is the family looking for? Is it calm? Is it restful? Is it enlivened? Is it creative? Do they need lots of bright color? Does bright color feel happy to them? So it's understanding who we're working with, and then bringing in all of the layers in our designer's, skill set or toolkit. That's space planning, that's color, that's millwork, that's flooring, that's lighting, that's how do we support the family to live in the way that they want to live within the space. So it expresses itself differently. It's not KHD imposing a particular style thumbprint on that. It's about the family. What we bring as a group of designers is a willingness and a desire to listen really, really carefully and care about the people that inhabit that space. So what makes those people happy? For some, it might be a lot of bright color. I did one home for a beautiful family, and we used more color in that one project than I did maybe in the next 5 or 10. But it was their personality, and that's what made them happy. And the colors were gorgeous. It was these bright apple greens and shots of orange, and it all sounds, quite vivid when I describe it, but it was beautiful. And, I drive by their house all the time, and I picture her having a cup of tea in that sitting room. So it's very much about listening very carefully to every family, because every family is different. So I remember very early in my design career working with a family and watching bad construction happen to good people. And it was so frustrating to me because I cared very much about this family and the end result that they were receiving, but I was powerless to do anything about it because I was only brought on board as the designer. And there was a moment, and I'll never forget it because it was a pivotal moment for me in my career, where I was watching this installation take place and the person did not do a good job. And I thought, this is just wrong. This is just wrong. These are good people. Someone should be taking good care of them. And so that was the moment where I thought, no, if this is the best that the industry is offering, we can do better and we will do better. And that was the seeds of me beginning to take the steps to become licensed as a general contractor. And that was, close to 20 years ago. And we haven't looked back. And yeah, it's fun now. Quality is first. And then there's also the whole experience of going through design and then through the construction process. Because we've done the design, we know it, like we've envisioned it. We've seen it built in our heads, and we know exactly what it should look like. So we bring on our team of trades, of skilled trades, who are also people who care very much about the end result. And we say, okay, we're going to build this for this family. This is what it looks like. And they say, okay, great. Let's do that. And we'll do it this way. And yeah, that's a great idea. And we collaborate to create a terrific end result. It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science to deliver good construction, but it's a lot of attention to detail through that process to get to the right result. And I'm very passionate about that. We find great people and we take good care of them. We build a relationship with them, and we share the same commitment to delivering a great quality result and really caring for our clients in that way. And part of the way that people become one of our preferred trades is attitudinal. Do they care about the end result? Are they skilled and licensed and appropriately insured in their area? Are they lovely human beings to deal with? And I think most critically, and this is what separates our group from maybe some of the other trades that are out there, is they answer the phone when there's any kind of an after service warranty type issue, and they're there. So we've built beautiful relationships with trades across every category in Calgary, with multiple trades in each one. And I'm very proud of that because we've built a team that that cares. They care about us, they care about each other, they're respectful to each other on the job site, and at the end of the day, they're tremendously respectful to our clients because they also recognize that people's homes are precious and important and costly. Oh, what do you mean, Britt? Nothing ever goes wrong in construction. Yeah, well, I mean, and the reality is that even when people are doing their very best, sometimes things get missed or just don't get caught at the right time. And so when things go sideways, and inevitably on every construction project, there will be one thing that becomes much more complex to get to the right place and to get across the finish line. But we're proactive, and we own that, right? Like, okay, this went sideways. How do we get this back on track and exactly unfolding the way that it should be? Because at the end of the day, if you're not happy, I'm not happy. And that's my goal, is to make people happy in their homes. So how do we get there with our clients? We deliver on what we promise. Our main focus as a company has always been redesign of existing homes and significant renovations. So it's the kind of renovation where your family moves out for 3 to 5 months, and we take over your home, we re-envision it, we make it feel like a brand new home, and then give it back to you, with fresh flowers on the counter and all your cabinets clean, so all you have to do is put your things away. So it's pretty cool what we do. I sometimes feel like we walk around as designers at KHD with magic wands in our pocket, and we just have the ability to reimagine spaces. The best moment for me is when clients walk into their new homes for the first time, their old new homes for the first time, and actually see all of the drawings and all of the materials and all of the surfaces reimagined and reinvented. And when they say things like, "Oh my God, it's even better than I expected," or "I had no idea, like I knew it was going to look good, but wow, I was not expecting this." Those are the kinds of remarks that we get from people on that reveal day. And it's so fun. It never gets old for me. It's always so exciting. It's just like the first time, every single time when we do the reveals. I love our team. We've got such a talented group of people in every aspect of KHD these days. And I think selfishly, why it's thrilling to me is I began as a solopreneur, and now there are 10 of us in the studio, and it is so wonderful to work with such talented and passionate people. They care as much as I do about every aspect of the client's experience, and they really bring their hearts. It's like we all love our clients together and love on their homes together. We've got 2 architects, we've got interior designers with advanced levels of training, some of the most advanced levels of training in the industry. We've got, our admin staff have direct design or design and construction experience. And so everyone on the team understands exactly what's involved and how we need to work together to get the client's job completed on time and on budget. And it's just beautiful to work with such incredibly talented people, because we go out in pairs to that initial intake appointment where we get to know our clients, and we've got all the written information that they've given us, but now we're listening to them share the more emotional piece, and we're listening to how they feel and how they want to feel in their homes, and also to how the space is working for them or not working for them, and the specific design problems that we need to solve. So then as we're driving away, or we get back to the studio, I'm like, okay, what did you hear? And then that sparks this conversation where, one of us will say, okay, well, I heard this. And then it becomes this beautiful cascading spiral of, oh, I heard this. Yeah. And did you hear that? And what did you think about that? And oh yeah. And if we did that, we can do that. And so on and so on. So that's the sort of the seeds of the whole design process, is this careful listening, and then hearing that channeled through two very talented design brains, and then those brains working together to create the concepts and really materialize, if you like, the needs of the clients in their homes. So, well, when I started, it was a lot of Excel spreadsheets, and I'm happy to say we've evolved much beyond that now. We have some state-of-the-art builder software that we use inside the studio that allows us to communicate with our trade team, with each other, with our bookkeeping department, to just add in all the layers to keep everyone looped into the communication, because communication is a huge part of construction. It's what we're communicating in our drawings, and it's also how we're communicating on a day-to-day basis with each other. And that's really the thing that sounds so simple and that is actually so much more complex to manage on a day-to-day basis. And we've found beautiful systems that allow us and support us in doing that for our clients. It's well in advance of when you are wanting to be living in the finished product. So as an example, typically design will take up to 12 weeks, depending on the size and the complexity of your project. So 8 to 12 weeks, 12 weeks probably being the norm for the scale of projects that we do. And then for construction, then you need to allow a little bit of time for budgeting and pricing and the ordering of materials, because once we start construction, we do not stop. So it's like everybody gets on the same train, and we've all agreed that on, say, August 1, this train is leaving the station, you're moved out, we're taking over your home, and we are going to go through this whole series of events to deliver the finished product back to you. Larger projects, construction typically takes anywhere from 4.5, 5 months to 6. And if it's really extensive construction, it could be even longer than that. But we build out that schedule so that you know exactly how long you are going to be making alternate arrangements. And all of this is happening within the context of, okay, what date works for your family? What's a good start date? Have you made plans as to where you're going to go? This is when we plan to start. Does that work for you? And then we get to that day and it's go. And it goes all the way through all of the scheduled activities from week 1, week 2, week 3, right through to the final week of construction, when we give you back your home and we maybe drink some bubbly and we celebrate and hug, and there are usually some happy tears. And but it does take time. A quality project takes time. Well, it's like Stephen Covey. If you don't know where you're going, how are you going to get there? Design is central in helping our clients to really clarify and crystallize what the finished product is going to look like. So we hear what you have to say in terms of your dreams and your visions for your home. And sometimes people need a little help actually most of the time, people need a little help in just crystallizing and clarifying that. So we work through that set of decisions and those cues that we get back from our clients. Okay, yes, this is the direction, and yes, this feels right. And yes, I love that material, and oh yeah, like that's perfect. We get that feedback from you all the way through the design process and through all of our design meetings. And as we are doing that, we're literally, if you like, building a layer cake of what your home is going to look like. And that's an iterative process that takes a certain amount of time for you as the homeowner to be able to digest what we're suggesting, to go home and sleep on it, to think about, yeah, does that feel right? Yeah, that really does feel right. And yes, that's in line with, my stated goals. And and isn't that a lovely thing to think about layering in, because that's going to work with the pantry over there, etc. So it's giving you the opportunity to be 100% confident that when we start construction, that what we're building actually reflects you and your personality and your home and your values and how you want to be living from day to day. And that takes a bit of time. It's an organic process, but that organic piece happens within the structure or the framework that we've created that supports you through that whole process. You don't have to do it on your own. We've done it hundreds of times, and it gives you the kind of security to lean into that process and know that you have, if you like, your designer is your trusted guide through that iterative process to get to the end result and the final design before we pick up hammers and begin construction. So I think a pretty common fear that I hear from homeowners is that like these feel like such big decisions. How do I know I'm going to like it? And like, what if I change my mind or my thinking evolves through the process? And that's very typical, right? Of course, you as a homeowner, when you're making the decision to invest this heavily in your home, you want to know that you are A, going to love it, B, it's going to be great quality, and C, that you're not going to have regrets around decisions that you've taken. And so we've created our process to support that. And all the way through, this is why I think that our superpower at KHD is not just producing drawings and creating beautiful environments and finishes. It's the quality of our listening to you, to our homeowners, as you are telling us how you feel and what you think. And sometimes what you think or feel is almost like, I've had people say at the beginning, I only know what I don't want it to look like. I don't know actually what the finished product looks like. And that's why I feel so lost and this feels so overwhelming to me. And that's great. Like, that's okay. And that's perfectly normal. And we have all of these built-in sort of safety checks for you in the design of our design process. And we take your hand and walk you through that whole process so that by the time we get to applying for a building permit and the design is final, you've had lots of time to think about it and imagine it, and we've shown you visuals and you understand what it's going to look like, and it's going to be a great investment for your home. Because at the end of the day, like, we all live in the real world and everyone is looking for a return on investment. And part of that return on investment is financial, and part of it is emotional as well for your family and how you're going to enjoy living in the space. I think that not to be scared of it, that it's actually fun. And we've had clients say, we knew that we would get a good result. What we didn't realize was how much fun it would be to walk this journey with us, with our team at KHD. So there's always lots of laughter in the studio, And it's like, what a privilege and what a joy to work with people and help them realize their dreams. So we always feel so excited to be able to do that with people and help them re-envision their space. And it's fun. It's so much fun. Our clients are always kind of sad when the design process is over, because they don't get to come in anymore. Well, they're always welcome. And I still get notes and little cards and emails from clients that we worked with, more than a decade ago. I get these little check-ins, and it's beautiful. It's a way of staying connected to not just our community, but community, to our whole city. Whenever I drive around, I'm always thinking about the families whose homes I'm passing, and I'm like, oh, I'm near Cranston. I wonder how, so-and-so and the kids are doing. And, oh, up in Bearspaw, my goodness, those kids are probably in high school by now. It's like we leave a little piece of our hearts in every home that we touch. And it's what community means to me here as a Calgarian.
Thanks for tuning. See you next time.